In the recent weeks, Disney made the announcement that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 would be the final film they release on physical media in Australia and New Zealand, physical media being DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. Collectors like myself have felt another big nail in the coffin in regards to the state of film and film lovers down under. As you can see behind me, I collect films and have been since the early 2000s when VHS became obsolete and the DVD phenomenon took over.
This is DVD. And this.
DVD, Blu-ray and more recently 4K discs offer excellent quality picture and audio, and most importantly special features that you can't really get anywhere else, such as deleted scenes, alternate endings and quite insightful audio commentaries by cast and crew members. Over the years, films have released special editions, giving fans the opportunities to collect films with extra goodies such as rare poster art and new features. Some of the favourites in my collection include this edition of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in the form of a detective binder with photos, my Lord of the Rings extended trilogy with this fantastic box art, and this special edition of Sin City containing a graphic novel. I can't forget, of course, my 007 DVD set with its hours of special features, which over the years have made me into a human encyclopedia of James Bond trivia. With the explosion of streaming arriving in the world during the last decade, the average household has slowly seen a decline in the need to own their films and media on a physical level, similar to our music industry at the turn of the new century, as iTunes and now Spotify caused the obliteration of CD ownership, although has also seen retro physical media such as vinyl and cassette make big comebacks. I myself continue to build a collection of my favourite albums on vinyl, which nicely complements their digital copies I listen to on the bus on my phone. The DVD demise has been a long time coming, so I can't say I'm surprised that Disney has made this decision to stop, but I will express my disappointment. Sure, the average consumer will have about 5 or so streaming services at their disposal, including Disney Plus, to be able to watch many films without having to dust off a DVD and load it up. Streaming is of course more efficient for the consumer and more cost effective for the studio in terms of cost of production, distribution, and now, quite controversially, royalties. As I film this video in Hollywood right now, both actors and writers are on strike, demanding, amongst other things, the cut of streaming royalties to them be made more equal and fair. Streaming services have yet to develop or release data that accurately contains earnings of film and TV shows through streaming. And while it is relatively simple to keep track of earnings with cinema box office results and physical media sales, it is something that still hasn't been quite figured out properly in the streaming world, and if it has, it certainly has not been divulged by the people at the very top. So as I was saying, the average movie viewer is happy to stay at home and watch streaming on their device, but for people who like to collect and own the films they love, like me, and watch the special features, it's getting more and more difficult. Australia already has quite a dismal availability for DVDs and Blu-rays. And although when you go to a JB Hi-Fi store there seems to be a decent selection, there are still so many films that I love that are not available down here in Region 4. For instance, being a huge John Carpenter fan, I would love to own his entire collection, something that is not possible here as everything he made after the late 80s, excluding Escape from LA, cannot be purchased in a Region 4 DVD Blu-ray, forcing consumers like myself to go online and find either a used copy privately or look at online stores from the US and the UK that will ship a new one to Australia, meaning I'm paying for shipping overseas. Actually, the last 3 films I purchased on DVD, being the 80s fantasy classic and Disney film I might add, Return to Oz, the cult horror sequels Sleepaway Camp 2, and Mike Judge's recent comedy Extract were all unavailable here and bought overseas. I know I'm not the only person doing this, and am very aware that many people like me who will go the extra mile to purchase a physical copy of a film do exist, and will continue to do so, even in some sort of niche. One large point of interest here I should also mention is that many of the films I've bought over the years are now out of circulation or not available, and they're so rare that if I were to lose them, I wouldn't be able to replace them very easily. Obviously, not every single film ever is available on streaming, or DVD for that case, and there are even in some cases films that can't be pirated because of their rarity, although I don't condone pirating films on the internet. These aren't obscure films by any means, but maybe because of their subject matter or age, their availability is low, so owning a copy in today's world perhaps means it might as well be film gold. Two examples in my collection, both comedies in fact, 1969's The Party, starring Peter Sellers, and 1978's Kentucky Fried Movie. Both of these are revered films amongst comedy lovers, but will never be seen or shown in full on streaming or even put in circulation on DVD again because their subject matter is now, some would argue rightly, seen as too offensive for modern audiences. Does this mean that they and thousands of other films should effectively be erased from history? Well, no. They have a place in the trajectory of filmmaking and the progression of the comedy genre over time. And although when I purchased them, one here in Oz and the other in Canada, it didn't feel too meaningful despite my desire to purchase another film I enjoy. Now I'm so very glad I purchased them and countless other films on my shelf that have effectively become rare gems in the film community because of their increasingly challenging availability and exposure to audiences. But it isn't just film. Being a Simpsons fan since the show's inception, yes, again, I'm that old, it was disheartening to see the DVDs stop circulation in 2015, meaning physical media fans like myself were forced to have an incomplete box set collection. You might say, well, they're available on Disney Plus now, so stop whining. But are they really? Episodes considered too controversial now, including Stark Raving Dad, the episode featuring voiceover work from Michael Jackson, are not included on Disney Plus. You might also find many other episodes not available, or to be censored both on streaming and also syndication on free-to-air TV. In their DVD form, you had everything that was originally aired, along with some fantastic features, even some well hidden, and some also really cool box art. It makes me sad that we can no longer get that with a show that was and is so iconic and important in modern pop culture. And again, I feel very lucky and relieved to have purchased these before they disappeared from shelves. I'm now finding similar issues in Australia, being unable to complete my DVD collections for later seasons of shows I love like American Dad and Family Guy. The importance of film and media, in my opinion, relies on physical availability. For people like me who love watching and making films, it's something of a stamp of honour, a talking point when friends and family come over and can find movies on my wall that they haven't seen or thought about for years. Those who know me closely also know that when I do start to talk about a film I like, it's really hard to shut me up. With Disney removing physical media from stores, perhaps their hope is that it will drive more people to Disney Plus. I personally still have no desire to sign up to yet another streaming service, and I'm sure there are many others who won't be swayed either. The decision to take away something collectible that a consumer can cherish is a sad one, and of course with Disney being the ever-growing juggernaut it is, this includes huge franchises such as Star Wars and the MCU, so I would implore any others out there who still collect movies to get out there and purchase what you can now before they disappear and the process becomes more costly, because there will always be demand, even if it means we are purchasing from a private seller online from overseas in order to complete a collection or own an official copy of a film we love. What I think would have been a better decision from Disney and any other studios going down this path is possibly to make their films available for purchase in physical form on an official online store going forward, rather than stopping production altogether. This would still save tons in not having to stock shelves in stores, and at the same time be able to offer both a digital copy to purchase for a fan and a physical copy for the collectors among us, rather than disillusion consumers by seemingly attempting to coax them into signing up for a streaming service that does not offer the same experience of owning your own copy of a movie in your household forever. I feel that something like this would still make them a healthy revenue from movie lovers who enjoy some of their films, but aren't willing to sign up for their streaming service and pay a monthly fee for hundreds of films and shows that don't really interest them. So what do you think about this decision, or the state of physical media in general? Do you prefer to collect physical copies, or do you prefer to have a streaming service and happy to watch films at the click of a button? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Road to Nowhere Films for more content. Until next time, bye!